Hello, and welcome back to another Sleepy Sunday. Today we're back in Banished, ready to pick up where we left off with all of our favorite villagers, including our favorite Manning, his wife Riley, and their brand new child, Constant. Can you believe it? That child's already a year old. It feels like just a week ago they were barely born. Everybody's doing okay. I think everybody's alright. We've got some food, we've got some charcoal, some firewood I mean, and we've got some wood. I'm not sure what we're building at the moment, but we're apparently building something, so let's go ahead and start the game and see just what exactly is going on in Lazy Brook Ridge today. It seems like 3 of our builders are working very hard right here to build, I believe, a tailor. That's right. We did leave off saying that we wanted to build a tailor so that we could make more coats for the winter. And it's early autumn, so it may be a bit of a tight squeeze. But that's okay. The people of Lazy Brook Ridge are hardy and can survive just about anything that comes their way. It seems as if our foresters, we must have taken them out of here and put them into being builders, because they've reached their log limit and therefore deserve a break. Looks like, and sounds like as well, you can hear the stone being cut in the background. Some of our favorite villagers are out here working hard to make this dream of having their very own tailor service a reality. I've always admired the people of Lazy Brook. Despite the name, they are very much active, healthy, and ready to party at any time. If by party, you mean get together, throw a bunch of bricks and stones and logs together, and build an entire market just for fun. We're spinning in circles now. Our reserve of food is getting very dangerously low. But it's not to worry. We have all the best people on the case, including Manning, who is working as a gatherer now. It seems that he alternates sometimes between being a gatherer and a hunter, as well as a builder, and many other things. In fact, our friend here, Lake, is now the teacher. Shad was the teacher when we left last time, but now it seems that his wife has become the teacher. Maybe she dreamed of teaching students, and he wanted to make that dream a reality. Who can say? It's best not to make assumptions with people. These guys are going so fast about their lives, and look, there's even food being left on the ground, which honestly is a little bit unsettling. Hopefully, our friend Rayleigh here will pick it up, and she has. Good on you for continuing the survival of the people of Lazy Brook Ridge. Ah, nice. So it looks like our friend Lisbetha is working hard at making the tailor shop dream a reality. Maybe it is because she would like to work here in the future. Maybe she has dreams of being a tailor and providing warmth to all of her friends and family in the form of nice winter coats. Who can say? Who can say? Look, there's just a deer. A whole family of deer. A whole herd of deer out here. We've got 7 deer just crossing the river in the pouring rain. It is a bit dangerous. And look, now the trees are falling over. Hopefully it doesn't spook our peaceful friends. Live strong. Oh look, our tailor has been built. So now we can assign someone to work here. I wonder who it will be. She is going to be making, or he, is going to be making coats We're going to set the limit at 75 because I feel that that is more than enough. What can we build next? We can take a nice, slow moment to appreciate the things that we have and the things that we would like to have. We have a hospital, after all, even though we don't have any medicine. So maybe it is time to start gathering herbs for medicines. Now, I'm not sure if our herbalist friend will need their own place far away from town to do this, or if they can do it right here in the comfort of their own yard with all of the herbs. I think that the herbalist would love to live right next to the school. Maybe the person who will become the herbalist has a son or a daughter that attends the school. There are 2 students here after all. Soon there will be even more. We are going to need more stone, logs, and builders. So let's get all of that assigned and get these guys up and running to create a wonderful herbalist. It is worth noting that it's getting a little bit colder out, and so firewood is starting to run down. It is late autumn now, and so people will begin heating their homes more and more as the season changes. Let's go ahead and see what else we can build while we wait. We're going to slow down time just a little bit and get super relaxed. We're running out of tools. We've got 17 left, so maybe it's almost time to build a blacksmith. That could be very good. What else could we build? We could build a mine to get iron and coal out of the ground, or a quarry for stones. We could start building farms, and even fishing docks, so that we can get even more sources of food. And if we do decide to go the fishing dock route, we could build right here. That might be a very lovely place, right on the bigger side of the river. However, if we are going to expand our town of Lazybrook in future, it may be worth having a quick glance around the map so we can see which direction we will expand. And it seems it'll be down here. Oh, and here's the snow, the first snow of the year. Winter's hit. So now our food is going to be a bit more scarce, our coats are going to be in high demand, and everybody's going to be a little bit colder. Do we want to make a stone bridge or a wooden bridge? I think a wooden bridge would be much more lucrative, given our resources. So I think that when the time comes, we'll build a bridge here for 24 logs and 6 stones. I feel like that is a wonderful idea. How is the town of Lazybrook? How are things coming along? Oh, the herbalist is almost done. And pretty soon, anyone who catches a cold will be able to get medicine. 0 patients at the hospital is always a blessing. The town of Lazybrook Ridge has definitely been blessed so far. Okay, now let's assign somebody as an herbalist. Just one person. They can tend to their garden and talk to the gatherers, maybe even getting some of their rare herbs from the gatherers. You never know with these people. They're all wonderful, resourceful individuals. So we have a well, and we have a school, and we have a hospital, but we do not have a cemetery or a chapel. And I'm wondering if a cemetery might be an important addition to our town, just in case the worst happens and some of our friends are to perish. So, in light of that, I suggest that we build ourselves a cemetery behind the church a little bit off the road, so that the children don't have to see it when they get out of school. We'll put it right there. And we'll go ahead and build a dirt path all the way around. There. Now all the townsfolk will be able to come visit the dead, to honor them and to pay their respects. Nobody's died yet, though, and that in itself is a wonderful blessing for this town. Manning's 18 years old now. He's really growing quick, isn't he? Shall we build a fisherman up here who can provide a little bit of extra food to the village throughout the long, cold winters? I think we'll do it. Remember, there are no wrong answers here. Only what does and what does not feel good. Ooh, I seem to have erroneously placed a road right there. But again, there are no wrong answers here. Only what does and what does not feel good. There. Now, once the graveyard is finished, whoever our friendly builder is will go out and decide to build a fisherman's hut to supply the town with just a little bit more heat. I'm sorry. Our friend here has reached its limit with clothes, so I think this person can come work right at the woodcutter and bring some heat to the rest of the town during these cold months. Keep in mind, there's only 12 logs of firewood left, so it is prudent that we get some more lined up. Our town of Lazybrook is coming together nicely, isn't it? It's a beautiful small community, just as I like them. And our friend here, Elwoodson, is building. Oh, now he's gathering, apparently. He changed his mind at the last moment, and that's okay. He can do as he pleases. He is, after all, his own free-thinking person. Our food is getting lower again. But it seems like the people of Lazybrook Ridge will be okay. We have a dank food supply at the moment. Super dank. Oh, who is our new builder friend? Elwoodson has retired to be a gatherer, and in his place has taken Manning, our good friend. So it seems, to me, the impartial observer, that he's 19 now. Wow. That our friends in this town switch up their roles from time to time, just to keep things interesting, perhaps, or maybe one day Manning doesn't feel like being a hunter or a gatherer. He wants to get his hands dirty a little bit differently and place bricks and saw logs, although sawing logs is often a euphemism used for death, and I would much like it if Manning doesn't die anytime soon. But if he does, we do have a graveyard now. Just about. It's almost there. It needs one more point of building to it. And Manning is going to finish the job right now. Why don't we watch him? We can celebrate his achievement with him. Congratulations, Manning. You have finished the graveyard. What a wonderful job you've done. Look at these beautiful stones. It's wonderful. Now, he, or perhaps one of his friends and fellow members of the community, will come to build the fisherman's hut. the fishing dock. We do not know who it'll be just yet, but it will be someone. We are having quite a large stockpile now of winter coats, but a dwindling supply of iron tools. So I think that when one of these children grows up to become an adult, we will have them start working as a blacksmith. A trading post will be an important addition to our town at some point, but I think that for now, it's not something I want to worry about. We do not have quite enough at the moment to spare to create a trading post. It seems like a redundancy. Shall we build a chapel here, right in the middle of town? When we do, we'll build it right here. We don't have nearly enough stone or iron for this, but that's okay. The people of Lazybrook would love if they had a place to worship whatever god or goddess or gods and goddesses they decide to worship. We'll build it. It can't hurt to lay out the plans for now. It seems that winter is coming to an end in year 2, and slowly but surely we are growing as a town. Our population is growing, but also our people's spirits are growing. With every new year comes new possibilities for Lake and her children, and for Elwoodson, who is chopping down trees for the church, because he knows the importance of having something to believe in, even if that something is just the spirit of their town. Maybe what he will worship is goodwill and happiness. Or maybe they'll decide to worship the spirits of the forest or the river, or maybe the spirits of the sky, of the bountiful animals and the rains that make all of their life possible. Maybe they'll invent their own gods and goddesses. Maybe their religion will be something so beautiful we can't even comprehend. Who knows? It is their burden and their privilege. It seems that these herbs here have grown considerably in the season. In fact, we've already got 24 medicines stored away, so that when people do get sick and go to the hospital, they have the medicine to treat them. Although, it would be interesting to see a small herb garden in the back of the hospital. But perhaps it is not for this man or woman, who is our doctor in the town, Damar. Well, she's working in the hospital, just getting everything ready, just in case someone gets sick. She'll be ready for them. She's a hard worker and a wonderful wife and mother. And look, it seems now we have a fisherman or fisherwoman. I don't know which. It comes with their own boat, and they can sail the rivers, enjoying all of the sights and sounds. All the frogs. Let's take it back to town. Look, we've appeared on the map now, which is beautiful. I do love a sleepy Sunday. These are the fun days. Sleepy Sunday fun day where you can just Relax, listen to the sound of rain, and let go of all of your troubles and worries. Manning is 20 now. Happy birthday, Manning. Let's follow you around again for a bit, because that's always one of my favorite things to do. Just watch how you get on in your day-to-day life. Sleepy, stormy Sundays. That sounds like an even more wonderful addition. Just having constant rainfall to lull us to sleep and to unwind after a long week at work. I wonder if the people of Lazybrook ever decide to take a sleepy Sunday for themselves. Maybe, just maybe, that is why they switch jobs sometimes. Maybe it's from taking a day off to relax, because they understand that rest and relaxation is an important part of work. Manning has become a gatherer now, and is heading back out into the forest to pick up resources, or so it would seem. Oh no, he's gathering logs for the church, or stones for the church, it seems. I think his job title doesn't exactly change, and that's okay. He's a very happy man, although he is in less than ideal health condition. I worry for my friend, but I trust him, and I trust that should he need the services, he will seek help from the local doctor and find the means to get better. I think that having a blacksmith straight in the middle of town is kind of a silly idea. People would be upset at all the clamoring and all the hammering, all the hammering and clamoring away. So I think that I'm gonna tuck the blacksmith a little bit further away. Not super far, mind you. He needs to be within the radius of the market. So I think right... Oh, seems that we're low on stone again. I'm going to say that before we get the blacksmith, maybe we should get some stones. Alright. Let's collect some more stones. There's some down here. And a couple over here mixed with some iron. And we could collect that too. There we have it. Yes, our people are going to be quite busy gathering resources. We have quite a bit of food, so I'm going to move our fisherman friend to become a builder for the moment, to expedite that process just a little bit more. We have a few places that are a bit abandoned right now in town, as they are only really worked when they're needed. And that's okay. It's a small community after all. We need a few more adults to come into the fold. And I think soon we'll have at least one more. Our students are getting a little bit older, and they'll come back educated, working even harder, but more than that, even smarter, discovering new ways to make their tasks easy and comfortable. How is our friend Manning? How's Riley? Hello, Riley. We haven't seen you in a while. I remember when you were just a child. You were little baby Riley. And now look at you. You're all grown up. It's nice to see your friends, your siblings, and your family, and even people that you've met a few times and consider someone that you appreciate as a human being. grow from a young adolescent into a beautiful person as an adult. I've seen that happen time and time again with many of my friends. I grew up a little bit faster, I suppose, than some of them because of the things that I kind of went through as a child. And so it gave me more of an appreciation for just how wonderful they all are and how much they've all grown, as I was able to see it from a different perspective, maybe a little bit earlier on. I got to see one of my beautiful friends named Emily get married a couple of years ago, and it made me cry because I was so happy for her, and she was so beautiful in her wedding gown, and it just brought the biggest smile to my face to see this person that I'd known since she was just a small child, a full-fledged adult, happy, married, and continuing on in life in such a positive, peaceful way. Oh look, we're locked in. It shakes because we can't move. Manning's been such a wonderful friend to this town. This town is lucky to have him. And his daughter Constant is growing up. She's a very sprightly young child. She's 4 years old now, can you believe? She spends a lot of time at the cemetery. Maybe one day, she would like to work there. Who knows? Maybe she's more of a darkling child who gets inspiration from the dead. Although, there are no dead there. So maybe for Halloween this year, our friends in Lazybrook Ridge will put up some styrofoam, some polystyrene gravestones. Who knows? I wonder if they would decorate. If our friends in Lazybrook have their own holidays, and what would they be? I wonder what their festivals would be like. Their holidays and their festivals and their traditions, their mythology, their religion. I wish I could know. Because the people of Lazybrook are fascinating, aren't they? Here we have our friend, oh, he's a bit quick, Linwoody. Linwoody, the builder, of course. He's 30 years old now. Oh my goodness, he's getting old. He's taking a break in the cemetery. Maybe it offers a nice view of the park and the woods around. Who knows? Linwoody has been a staple in this community, see? For a very long time. Although, let's see. Yeah, Shad. Shad is definitely the one who has been... Both Shad and Elwoodson have been producing the most children for the town. But Linwoody has been here since the very beginning. Linwoody and Rigobert are the two oldest members of Lazybrook. They came here when they were late teens, mid-teens, somewhere in there. And they've given everything for this town. This town was built on their backs. And they continue to give. And give and give. Thank you, Linwoody. And thank you, Rigobert. And thank you, Manning and Shad. And Lake. And Riley. And Lisbeta. And Adric and Rayleigh. And Damar. For being the wonderful humans that you are. Our church is really taking shape now, and I am excited to see it completed. Look, we have both Adric and Linwoody working their backs off to make this dream a reality. and their children are running around, providing inspiration and joy as they work, because they know that the children are the reason they built this town, so that the children can thrive in a new community with all the amenities that they could ever imagine, and live a life that they could be proud of. Next will be the blacksmith, and I am very excited. Corlane has been born. Who gave birth to Corlane? It seems... Manning, you dog! Manning and Riley have a new child. Clarine. Happy birthday, Clarine. Welcome to the world. I always hope, that it fills you with love and inspiration. It is summertime, and we are running out of food quite quickly. So I'm thinking, what can we do here? I'm thinking our herbalist can become... where'd she go? Here she is. I'm thinking our herbalist can become a fisher. That way we get a little bit more food coming into the town. It is getting a bit harder for our people, as there are more and more mouths to feed now. The school has 7 students. When we first started, back in the world of Lazybrook today, there was only 1. And now there's 7 whole students. What a beautiful, beautiful thing to see education at full swing. Everything is coming along quite well, isn't it? It's got quite a bit of supplies now. Things are getting stockpiled up. Everybody's working hard in this small community. And look, they've built this impossibly large church in the matter of a season, because they were devoted to the cause of making a better life for their children. It's an important dream to strive for. An important thing to always keep in mind, that you may disagree with the way things work sometimes in this world, our real world. And that's okay. But what is more important than what you believe is the education of our children. There are some people out who believe that the earth is flat, of all things, as if we were looking at it like this, which is a bit preposterous, as it is not the year, 1200, although the Romans even knew that the earth wasn't flat because of the eclipse and the shadow on the moon from the earth. But there are some who believe that the earth is flat, and so want to teach our children that the earth is flat. But, as we know, that is false. And so, my point, sometimes it is not enough to believe that you are right and the world is wrong. Sometimes that's okay. If you believe the earth is flat, that's completely fine. I won't badmouth you, and I won't say that you're wrong, or that you're uninformed, or anything. I will only say that you have an opinion, and that's okay. But my grander point here is, I love these deer, but my grander point here is, don't tell your kids that the earth is flat. Don't spread these ideas to the children who are very susceptible to believing such nonsense, especially if you say it as a joke, as I think a lot of people do. Another example. of putting children first is putting aside a religious agenda so that children can learn actual science in school. The people of Lazybrook have their religion, but they also teach their children about evolution and about the age of the world as best they know it and can tell. They do not dilute the facts with beliefs. Instead, they admit what they don't know and what they cannot prove, and let their children make informed decisions on their own. After all, this is their world, isn't it? Not ours. Ariane has become an adult and has started working. Fantastic, Ariane. Perhaps you could help out with hunting, so we can get a little bit more meat on the table for our family and friends. I myself do not eat meat, but free-roaming deer hunted with bow and arrow to ensure the survival of a primitive species is totally fine. Not that I mean to call the people of Lazybrook primitive in any way. I mean to say a primitive society, in that they have technology, but it's very limited. They lack sprinklers, for instance, to grow their crops and water them much easier. They lack all of the wonderful modern tools and amenities that we have to make up for a meatless diet. My mind is rambling. I do hope that I haven't offended anybody with this ramble session on this sleepy Sunday. If I have, that's okay too. I won't apologize, as honestly it is not my job to apologize if you've taken offense. It is up to us, after all, to decide how we feel, and it is up to us to reconcile how we feel. I think that's a very important life lesson that you can learn and take away from this, is that it isn't necessarily your job to feel bad for someone else that misunderstands you or disagrees with you. I know that it can be hard sometimes as an empathetic person to almost callously say that it's their job to dictate how they feel, and it's their job to find peace and happiness. But you can't do that for them. If you do something wrong, apologize sincerely. But then forgive yourself, because hanging on to it will do nothing but bring you sorrow and grief. And if the people that were affected cannot forgive you, that's okay too. Don't feel too bad about it. If you truly are sorry and have let go for your own health and safety, that's okay. It's important to allow yourself the ability to move forward in life, regardless of how others feel. I once read a story, actually, of a man in prison, and his presence in prison deeply affected the people that he loved. His entire family was distraught. He knew that he'd made a mistake, and that his time in prison was teaching him something important about life. But he didn't know how to let it go. He didn't know how to move forward while he was in prison. And he would call his mother, and she would cry. She would be so sad that her baby boy was in prison. She would be distraught and just completely overcome with grief. For the first few months, he took it upon himself to languish in that grief and suffer and suffer and suffer, to feel like a rotten person who'd done horrible things. And, in a way, it was true. But he met someone in prison who had learned how to meditate and was teaching a yoga class, I believe. And this meditative prisoner taught him that he is in charge of his own emotions, and if he feels so strongly that what he did was wrong, then he must atone for it, and then let it go, because it's not worth destroying the rest of your life over. And so, our friend in prison decided that he was going to move forward with his life. An important thing, especially if you want to reintegrate into a society that has left you behind. His mother could not accept his newfound peace and happiness, and unfortunately could not understand why our friend had found peace and how he could forgive himself for the things that he had done. She was mortified. And he told her in his last phone call to her while he was in prison, before he stopped contacting her for a few months to give her time, that it was not his job to take care of her happiness, and that she would only ever find it within. And so the moral of this story is, it can sound callous to say you are in charge of your happiness, and if someone has wronged you, it is up to you to let go and to move forward. But really, there is no other person who can let go and move forward except for you. I hope that was an adequate explanation. It can be hard sometimes. What is happening here? Our friends are collecting some more stone, it seems. It can be difficult sometimes to explain some of our beliefs and some of our values. I know for me it can be very difficult to explain impermanence to people who don't truly grasp the concept very well. Yes, we are collecting more firewood. It's a slow process, though. I think impermanence is one of those concepts that takes a bit longer to explain than this video. However, to sum it up in just a few short sentences, we are all going to die, and everything is going to end one day. We don't know when it will be. It could happen today. It could happen right now. It could happen a month from now or 30 years from now. But all things will end, because all things go. Entropy. And that's okay. It's something that we struggle with. We struggle with letting go, and we struggle with accepting that everything will end. But that doesn't stop it. And so, the way I have found to feel better about it is to accept it and to know that everything will end, but that doesn't mean my memories of those things will end, and it doesn't mean that the people touched by those people will suddenly forget that they existed, or that they had such a marvelous time knowing them. It is bittersweet, but it is an indelible law of the universe. Soon, some of our own townsfolk will begin to pass, and their remains will be buried in this beautiful cemetery behind the hospital. it seems like things are progressing quite well in this town. We are running a little bit low on food, and of course stone has been a very hard to come by resource. I think that we will go ahead and collect a little bit more stone to kind of help this along. I am uncertain whether or not they collect it on their own. Excuse me for just one moment while I take a nice sip of water. It's important to stay hydrated, especially if you're talking for a long time. Our friends are mining stones and chopping trees, and slowly a blacksmith will be built. And when it is, we can create some more tools to last us even longer. Our food is very dangerously low. Oh my goodness. 4 out of 4, and 2 out of 3, and 1 out of 4. I think that we will be okay, but we do need to get people on food ASAP. The roaring wind sounds so beautiful. It seems that everything in our storage barn has been moved now to the market. Ah, look. It's amazing to see these things come together, isn't it? The blacksmith will soon be open to service the entire village and make tools for everybody. I think that we will turn this wonderful friend here that is the woodcutter into another builder, or just a general laborer, so that we can make things go along a little bit faster. That way, we can get these tools before they run out completely. It could be hard to build an entire blacksmith hut without any tools after all. The town sounds quite lively today. It's the middle of winter. But they're all outside, enjoying the crisp air of Lazy Brook Ridge. I think the people in these towns, these small communities out in the middle of nature, with no electricity, with no smartphones and no crippling debts, I think the people in these communities have a much more idyllic life. An idyllic life, in a way. Of course, it's not without its trouble. It is very hard to keep all of these people fed. As you can see, they've got 0 food at the moment. But I think that overall, maybe they're a little bit happier. They don't have the modern day shackles of transportation and being in constant communication and debt and credit cards and all of that. It's best not to romanticize it though. They do have very difficult lives out here, constantly facing starvation, working through the late winters, children being adults at the age of 12 or 11 in some cases. I do not mean to romanticize, only to say that a more simplistic lifestyle can truly affect one's happiness in a positive way. But to also know that not everybody is the same, and some people prefer the fast-paced hustle lifestyle of the modern day. The wind is quite strong the higher you go. I wonder if the people of Lazy Brook would ever have to worry about a flood between these two rivers if this area has ever flooded. I hope that it never does, for their sake. However, if it does, I have faith that the people of Lazy Brook would find a way to bounce back. We have tools being made now. Our friend here will make 50 tools, and then we'll help out as needed wherever else. I think we're going to go ahead and add another fisherman to the flock and just let this play out for a bit. We don't need to build anything right away. We need to stockpile our tools. I think that since there's nobody in the hospital right now, we're going to retire our friend here and have them make some more clothes. Damar has become a fisher lady. She's decided that working in the hospital was not for her. And that's okay. Adric is the cleric. He put a lot of hard work into that church. He's a good man. Perfect for the job. It seems that things are going quite well for us here. We will slowly have more food, and soon we'll have more adults, which will mean that we will need a new district of housing. How can we plan this? Where would we like to place some of these houses? Perhaps we will do another district here and bring it quite like this. Place them all through here. Laryl has been born. Well, welcome to the world, Laryl. It's a pleasure to have you. Let's just play with this a little bit and see what we can do. So it would seem from here, right? It would seem that if we go in, we can fit 4 houses on the inside. No, not even. 3 houses on the inside, of course. So we would go here, about right here. Our district could be right back here. Our reserve of tools is very low, and our reserve of food is completely gone. Our people are starving. Which means, perhaps, we could pull someone from the cleric to a hunter, just to gather a bit more food for now. The people of this town would definitely understand. I'm getting quite sleepy myself. Quite sleepy. Oh. Canessa has become an adult. Let's have her become a fisherman as well. That way, we can get even more food stockpiled for the town. And Belle has become a student now. I am getting awfully tired, actually. There's something so relaxing about Banished. And the sound of rain. Good old spring rains. And the sound of people dancing in the streets and laughing and shouting at the markets. The sound of wind and the river and the fish. and the rain all coming together with the birds and the sound of trees and rocks and everything coming together to create this magical, completely magical feeling of peace and sleepiness. It would seem that we've hit another wonderful population boom from Katarine becoming an adult as well. And now we have quite enough of our coats. So I think we're going to start chopping in some more wood to get our fuel up to at least 150. Just to prepare for this, the autumn and the summer. The winter. It is very relaxing, isn't it? I'm wondering if it would be a little bit better for us all if I just kind of put all this together in one spot. I don't know. How I feel about it. Seems a bit forced. I think we'll just go back to how we were. Food is back to being low, but we're up a heck of a lot more than we were before. I think, though, that I might call it here for the episode, so that I can go out and take a nice sleepy Sunday nap myself. Let's check on Manning one more time. I'm not going to say that he's my favorite, because I love them all. But Manning is certainly the one that I keep an eye on the most. I'm more invested. Manning the hunter now. What a guy. What an absolute guy. He's 25. He's been... He's a wonderful human. Okay, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to this lovely episode of Sleepy Sunday and for sharing with me the beauty that is the town of Lazy Brook Ridge. I'm so excited for next week when we can come back and check in on how everybody's doing. Hopefully the food reserve gets a little bit better. Maybe we'll start work on building some farms as well. But until that time comes, I hope that all of you have a very peaceful, very positive, and very purposeful week. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.